Hey fellas, got my order in from F&T Post. They're one of my favorite trapping suppliers, and this is an order to replace stuff that I've used up over the last season, or stuff that I've lost, or stuff that's simply worn out. First thing that I have here is a half a dozen Belial 330 Magnums. The Belial body grips are my favorite trap. They're my preferred beaver trap. They're not cheap, but they're a well-made trap. They close all the way. They got a Magnum closer. The safety catches stay put where you put them, and I like the design of the dog. So anytime I'm using body grips or buying body grips, it's usually going to be Belials these days. I will use BMI 110s. I like those, but mostly Belials. I've got, let's see, these are called killer clips. There's a dozen of these killer clips, and these are basically body grip holders. And what I do with them is I put them on a wooden stake, and then I can use these to support basically any size body grip that I have, from a 110 up to a 330. So I really like these. They're handy, real handy. Got a couple of dozen spring clips here. These get used for just about everything. I put these on every snare set that I make, and they're good to put on any extension cables or anything like that. It's just a very quick and easy way to attach and disattach your traps. They're a little expensive, but the time that they save you and the energy that they save you, in my opinion, is well worth it. These are some Berkshire stake ends for disposable stakes. I use the soft ground since I'm trapping a lot in swamps down in the marsh and everything. They work real well. You can check out my video on my basic snare set and see how I use a 6-foot extension cable, one disposable stake end, and one spring clip on every snare set that I make. I've got some double ferrules here for my 1/16 inch snares. I like to keep a couple of these handy just in case I need to make a repair or rebuild a snare that I don't already have made. And I got a couple of dozen snare locks. These are slim locks, and these are my preferred snare lock. They're small, they're light, they're very fast, and there's no moving parts to freeze up or ice up like on a cam lock. So I've had real good luck with the slim locks. I like them a lot. The next thing I have here is some of Clint Locklear's Delta Red Beaver Lure. I've used just about every Beaver Lure out there, and I have some strong feelings on Beaver Lure. Anybody that's watched my channel knows that beaver is the primary animal that I go for, that I trap for, and I trap for the meat. So it's a matter of food for me. One thing I've learned is try and find a Beaver Lure that's made and tested in your area. I've used Beaver Lures by Tim Caven out of Minnesota, and I'm sure they're good lures, but they really haven't performed for me like a southern lure has. I use a lot of Clint Locklear's lures. I use a lot of Paul Dobbins backbreaker. Damadam is another good lure, and those are all southern lures. And of course, I'm located in the deep south, so that's just something that I've found that works for me. This is a new one that I'm going to try this year, and this is Big Pile Beaver Lure, and we'll see how that goes. I'm always willing to try something new. I needed a new safety catch. This is basically a body grip safety catch, and this allows you to handle a body grip safely while you're making the set. It just fits across the top bars so that if you accidentally trigger the trap, you don't get caught. I tend to lose these every so often, so I find that I'm buying them regularly. Same thing with body grip setters. These are aluminum body grip setters, Freedom brand, that's made by F&T. And over time I found that I like the aluminum ones better. They're lighter, they don't rust. The steel is heavier, and it'll rust on you, especially like since I'm down in the water and I'm constantly setting mine in the water and throwing them in the back of the truck. These are going to get spray painted blaze orange because I tend to lose these with amazing regularity. And then I've got a roll of 14 gauge wire. I keep a lot of wire on hands. but I was getting low on 14 gauge wire. And this doesn't look like a much, but this was approximately $300. 6 traps, a couple of tools, some wire, a couple ounces of lure, some accessories. 300 bucks. Anybody that tries to tell you that there is no inflation, well, we all know that's simply not true. And when you're going to pay a lot of money for this kind of stuff, I found that it pays to get the best. That's why I go ahead and I get the Belial traps. If I'm going to buy a lure, I'm going to buy a lure that I know that works and comes from a reputable lure maker. And I just have learned not to cut corners. So anyway, next video I'll do is will be a trap prep video. And when these traps come, you can see they've got a thick layer of grease on them, so you have to degrease these traps and then either paint them or dip them. And so we'll do that, because now the middle of summer, this is the time to be doing this stuff, so that when trapping season comes, you got your gear ready to go. Everything is organized, it's put together, and there's no fooling around. So anyway, that's my supplies that I've got for this year, and I'll see you soon.